Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on Chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute. We're reading from, I'm sorry, text 20. Aham Atma Gudakesha
Aham Atma Gudakesha
Sarva Bhuta Shayastitaha
Sarvabhuta Ashayastitaha
Aham Adischa Madhyam Cha
Aham Adischa Madhyacha
Bhutanam Anta Eva Cha
Bhutanam Ant Evacha
Aham I,
Aham I,
Atma the soul,
Atma the soul,
Gudakesha, O Arjuna,
Gudakesha, O Arjuna,
Sarvabhuta, of all living entities,
Sarvabhuta of all living entities,
Ashaya Stitaha, situated
A
within the
Ashaya Stita, situated within the heart,
Aham, I am,
Aham I am,
Adi, the origin,
Adi the origin,
Cha, also,
Cha also,
Madhyam, middle,
Madhyam middle,
Cha, also,
Cha also,
Bhutana, of all living entities,
Bhutanam of all living entities,
Anta, end,
Antah end,
Eva, certainly,
Eva certainly,
Cha, and.
Cha end.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I am the Super Soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. So Krishna is clearly saying that I'm the Paramatma who is there in the heart of every living entity. No one else says these things. Why? Because no one else is the Paramatma. But Krishna can say it. Why? Because he is. He is the Paramatma who is in our hearts. He's saying, I'm the beginning, the middle, and end of all the beings. In this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesh, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. So why is Krishna calling Arjuna Gudakesha? Arjuna had given up sleeping. He had conquered. He didn't need to sleep. So there are two meanings. That one who's physically not sleeping and another who has given up his ignorance. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in the material and spiritual worlds. Krishna has this material energy, the spiritual energy, and that's how he is manifesting himself everywhere. But out of our ignorance, out of our own darkness, lack of knowledge, we are not able to understand this. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant because Arjuna is above such darkness. The personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. So Krishna knows that Arjuna will be able to understand what he's saying. So he's going to start beginning to speak about his vibhutis. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he's the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion. So before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnation, and from him, everything begins. So we read in Srimad Bhagavatam, specifically in the second and third cantos, how the creation is happening, how Krishna is there, and then he's expanding, and then his expansions. Then one of his expansions is Mahavishnu lying down on the Karana ocean, and so many millions of universes are coming out. So this is the Purusha incarnation. Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Shirodakshai Vishnu. They are called the Purusha incarnation. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. At the time of this creation, Krishna enters into every atom of the universe as the Shirodakshai Vishnu. So he's called the super soul of the entire material world. The total material energy is not the cause of creation. Actually, the Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva, the total material energy. He is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as the super soul in each and every entity. So the Mahatattva is there, but the Mahatattva does not create anything. Only when the Mahatattva is glanced upon by Mahavishnu, then this creation is happening. We were reading so much in detail. We have been hearing about the creation so many times in the Bhagavatam. And then Lord Mahavishnu enters into every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Then he enters into every atom of the universe and into the heart of every living entity as the Shirodakshai Vishnu. So we have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Why? What is the difference between a living person and a dead body? We say, oh, he's left, he's passed away. So what is it that passed away? It's the soul. Soul is the spirit, the living spark. When the soul leaves the body is there. The soul is inside the body, and then we are called a living person. As soon as the soul leaves, then the same body is called a dead body. So without the soul inside the body cannot grow. It cannot develop. Similarly, because the super soul Krishna is there in the every atom of the universe, that's the reason all this creation, manifestation is happening. As stated in the Subalopanishad, Prakriti Adi Sarva Bhutanantaryami Sarvasheshi Cha Narayana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as the Super Soul in all manifested universes. So everything is happening under the direction of Krishna. Everything. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described in the Narad Pancharatra, one of the Satvata Tantras. So apart from Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu, they are also mentioned in the Narad Pancharatra. Vishnostu trini rupani purushakhyani atho viduhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Karanodakashai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Shirodakshai Vishnu in this material manifestation. The Mahavishnu or Karanodakshai Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita 547. Ya Karanaranava Jale Bhajati Sma Yoga Nitram. The Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. So Lord Brahma in his Brahma Samhita is also telling us who is this Mahavishnu? Where is this Mahavishnu coming from? This Mahavishnu is Krishna himself. Krishna, the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. He's lying down in the Karana ocean, the cosmic ocean, as Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universal manifestations, and the end of all energy. Everything belongs to Krishna. There is nothing or no one that does not belong to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's property. Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the original personality of Godhead. And he's pervading everywhere by his energies. He has many, many energies, and that's how he is all pervading. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. You know
Hare
how,
Krishna.
you know how in science we say atom, molecule, matter. Even here, we keep talking about Atma. Atma sounds so similar to atom, atom and Atma, they sound similar. It's like, yeah, everything coming from Atma.
So we have to understand that atom is the smallest particle of matter, and Atma is the living entity, the Jivatma, the soul. The soul is the living entity. And then, of course, the Paramatma, the super soul, he is together with us, with the Atma, in the same body. And this Paramatma is also entering into the atom, every atom. That's how the atom is able to hold its shape. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. I'm
Yes.
like, I know, I'm just like, it sounds so similar, atom and Atma,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
okay.
Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
that's Hare Krishna. In Sanskrit, I think atom is called Parmanu. I think that's what it's called,
Okay,
Parmanu.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, okay, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening in and joining in. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare